Okay, welcome back to the cave. I just want to touch on something a little quick here. Already, it's the last week of February, first week of March. Next week, we've had a super mild winter. We've been out a couple times already and we're catching fish. So, I was out the other day. I did good. Been using different kinds of pack baits through the years. This year I figured I'd use the same kind of pack bait ingredients, but I would mix it with different kinds of syrup and keep it as a dry mix. That way it don't go bad, and it's been paying off this winter. It's been paying off very well. So these are some of the bags I've been making up. I'll just make one up really quick. And well, you can use the cap to measure the amount that you want. So this cap will give me a bag this big. Now I guess I should talk about the size of the bag. I'm using 25 millimeter material. You can buy 35 millimeter, you can buy 25 millimeter, and you can buy 15 millimeter. 15 millimeter will give you a really small diameter bag. It's good for boilie stringers, stuff like that. Or if you want to make a small stick, yeah, it works well for that. I like the 25 millimeters. Seems to work well all around for me. I make them small like this, and that way I can just put a hook through it, cast it out with the hook. It works well. But this year I've been experimenting with different ways, and the other day I caught onto a rig here. Not my own invention. I can thank Adam Penning for it. He talked about it on one of his videos where it was one of his #1 winter rigs. Had to experiment, had to try it, really paid off the other day. So I'll do a long stick. So basically my mix here is basically breadcrumbs, oatmeal. I've got some little fruity pellets in there, which are probably like 2 mil. I've got some protein powder, which is banana cream flavor. I've got some of my banana cream pie filling mix, and I even put some of my boilie dry mix in there. So now it's making me a nice smelly dry pack bait mix, stick mix, call it what you want. So I'll make up a bag right now, or I should call it a stick. So if I want a long stick, I'll use this little cup. If I want a smaller stick, I'll use the end cap of my tube. But I'm going to make a long one right now, and you'll see where I'm going with that. So it all goes in there. My little plunger. Plunge it nice and hard. Push it out. Tie one knot. And you know what? The knot don't have to be that tight. Again, I push the envelope sometimes too much. I tie them really tight and I end up ripping the little mesh. And if it's too tight, it's going to explode underwater. And it might break up a lot quicker than you think. So, loose knot, tie one, tie two, and it'll be ready to go the next time for the next stick. So there you go. So here's my longer stick, which is longer than these. Now where I'm going with this is the rig I was doing good on the other day. Again, not my idea. I seen Adam Penning do it. I like the idea. Couldn't wait to try it. So what I got here is I got a naked chod link. I've got 20 foot of this 40-pound snag leader on the end of my main line. No, they call it snag leader. I call it mono. On there, I've got a little chod link that I made up out of coated braid. It's a slip D multi kind of idea. Onto a number 8 swivel with one of my little hollow lead sinkers onto the swivel so I can anchor my pop-up. So you can picture this is probably sitting this way. But the best part of this, the area where we've been fishing, it seems like the fish are all hanging out as far as we can cast. Now, if I'm just using my regular rig, which is usually an inline sinker, which I put in my solid bags, but I also use an inline sinker with a little 4-inch link on the end. I'll just put a little bag like this on the hook with my inline sinker. And when I cast it out, it goes round and round and round and round. And if I'm lucky, it don't tangle and it hits the water and I'm losing distance on my cast. So what I like about this idea is that at the end of my chod link here is where I usually put my sinker. Now what I don't like about that is that the chod is in the fish's mouth and my sinker is slapping the fish across the face. I've lost quite a few fish on these little shorter chods with the sinker that close. So what I've done is I've extended them 6 inches and now my sinker is down below. But what I seen Adam Penning do is that he purposely makes a little link on the end of this. His sinker's down below, and what he does here makes so much sense. So now I'm going to take a long threading needle. I'm going to poke it through my stick. I'm going to put it on this little stiff link. You can use anything. You can use lead core, you can use any kind of mono, you can use coated braid. I like the thick mono, crimped on both ends. That way it makes it nice and smooth to pull through my stick. So there you go. So now where I'm going with this is I'm going to put this on my little quick link at the end of my naked chod rig. Now I'll go with my buffer sleeve over top. So now you see where I'm coming from with this. So now I'll take my little chod, wherever it's sitting there, I just anchor it in the mesh. That's all it takes. So now when I cast this out, it goes out straight, hits the bottom like this. The mesh will melt. Nice little parcel of food there. And my rig is right in that little parcel of food. I was so excited when this was working the other day, and to tell you the truth, I got the majority of the fish on this rig. Go figure. Now I can cast it as far as I want. It goes out nice and straight, and whenever I get a fish, when I'm ready to re-rig, all I do is take it off this link, slide another stick on there, put it back on a quick link, anchor my chod into it, and I'm ready to go to cast the rode again. You can use a long distance sinker. I'm using these flat pairs. It's working. I think I'd probably get maybe another couple feet if I had long distance sinkers on there. Hey, that'll be the next time I go out. But something to keep in mind. I'm glad I tried it, and unless I'd experiment with all this stuff, I would have never found that out. So hopefully this will give you food for thought. and maybe you can apply it in something that you're doing. So until then, thanks for letting me share this with you. Tight line for everybody, and hope you get lucky. Well, believe it or not, it does go down. There you go. It's made it down, and it will break down.
Absolutely.
And now, my last trip, we did a video on it. I did the Adam Penning trick. You might have seen that video. Here's the rig. So now this is just a helicopter, but it's they call it a naked helicopter. But what I'm doing now, see, look at that dry bag there.
Yep.
What I'm doing now is I'm threading that bag
Yep.
onto here.
It still puts a little deposit within the proximity of your hook bait.
I put it out there, take my hook bait, and I nick it on the mesh.
Yep.
Now I'm casting that out, and it goes out like a bullet, and I know there's no tangling, and I know I've got a little bit of